shopping? It's your sweetheart again. Bye-bye.
Why does, when we need community and when we need home the most, does it just stop?
Chances are that as a viewer of this program, you either live in, work in, or have a loved one residing in a nursing home. Maybe you're a frequent visitor, volunteer, or even sit on the board of directors. Whatever your connection, chances are when you think nursing home, the image that comes to mind is one of long corridors lined with wheelchair-bound elders. The rooms are cramped, the shower rooms gloomy. The dining room is huge, crowded, and noisy, and the nurses' station is a favorite gathering place. Maybe your nursing home doesn't seem so bad. It has all new furniture, pretty wallpaper, artwork, and attractive window treatments. Whether it's tastefully decorated or unpleasantly stark, it is the physical environment that usually comes to mind when most people think nursing home. Suffice it to say, most attempts at cheering up the nursing home focus on interior decorating. But cosmetic changes have little effect on cultivating happiness in residents. As in any home, it is the human relationships and interaction that affect mood, sense of well-being, and pace of daily life. Deeper change, a change of culture, is necessary to improve the lives of those living in nursing homes.
When I speak of culture, I guess I reference back to Webster's definition, which talks about a system of shared values, symbols, beliefs, rituals, performances that both characterize and also coalesce a group of people.
Most nursing homes across the nation were built in the 60s and 70s with the best intention of providing skilled medical care for elders. Current culture reflects that objective. Typical nursing homes are run like institutions based on a hospital model.
We picked the wrong model in the mid-60s to base group living for dependent elderly. We picked the hospital model as a society here in America, and that simply is the wrong setting for most people.
We don't want a hospital to be our home. Any of us that would wind up in a hospital for a long period of time would not like it.
In recent years, there has been a call by administrators, directors of nursing, nurses, social workers, and even the government to seek a more holistic daily life experience for residents. In other words, to work at putting the home back in nursing home. Even in organizations that focus heavily on rehabilitation for the return home, the experience should be friendly, comfortable, personalized, and filled with the pleasures of daily life. Hotels focus on these homey comforts even for a 1 or 2 day stay. As the author Maya Angelou has said, "I long, as does every human being, to be at home wherever I find myself."
We can run an absolutely wonderful nursing home and still go in and talk one-on-one with residents and say, "Are you happy?" And they'll go, "Well, not really. I'd much rather be home." And so what is it that holds people back from being happy in nursing homes?
For residents, daily life in the nursing home often means a lack of privacy or loss of community. Schedules and routines are based on medical treatments and staff needs. Efficiency of the operation trumps individual freedom and personal preference.
It's more for the convenience of running the nursing home, so for the staffing, rather than for the people that are actually living here. So it's almost to the point, not that we're coercing them to get up and do things the way we want them, but you really try to encourage them because it's so much easier to just have everybody in a certain place at a certain time.
Bedtime, wake time, bath time, and mealtime are all dictated by the same clock and by someone other than the resident. The unsettling ambiance is often manifested in a fear of bathing, loss of appetite, and loss of dignity. Fed up with miserable outcomes, Visionaries, organizations, and individuals are taking action to change the institutional model. It is being replaced with a person-centered or even resident-directed approach.
Person-centered care is where the resident gets to decide what they want to do, when they want to get up, when they want to have their shower, what they want to eat. It all has to do with their wishes and making them happy.
Commonly referred to as culture change, the process involves organizational redesign that provides more resident choice, physical redesigns that naturally cue healthier social interactions, and personal transformation that helps individuals grow and adapt to the new organization. The goal of organizational redesign is to help residents become in charge of their lives, just as they were in their own homes.
These people, even though they may be in a wheelchair, still have their minds and can still make rational decisions and can express their feelings, and we need to be sure that our value system as caregivers recognizes that.
People say that people who live with dementia can't actually make decisions, and yet they make decisions all the time. They make decisions not to eat, they make decisions to walk around, and sometimes they make a decision, to kind of give you a nice punch when you're trying to wake them up and they're not ready to get up, actually. And so when we think about that person-directed environment for someone who lives with dementia, we want to respond to them and what decisions they're making and create opportunities where they can make decisions.
To accomplish this, staff closest to the resident caters to requests on the spot without needing permission from department heads or going through a protracted chain of command.
I mean, there's rules and regulations and guidelines that, of course, we're regulated, but to get the staff to be able to take initiative and just, this resident needs this, and I'm going to try and provide that for them.
In some facilities, everyone is expected to cross-train in at least one other set of job skills.
With cross-training our employees, anyone walking down that hall or seeing a light go on could go in and talk to the elder and see what their problem was, and it just made the elders feel more comfortable.
Some facilities have created new positions for cross-trained workers. For example, a homemaker is a staff member who has training in both dietary and housekeeping. As more and more people are cross-trained, these more versatile workers can respond to resident needs in a more seamless fashion.
That's an employee that does multitasks and is able to meet the needs of the resident at the time the resident has that need. So it's things like if a nurse aide's taking care of a resident and they want something to eat, that nurse aide can go in and fix them something to eat.
The goal of physical redesign and culture change is building community through new living arrangements that enhance social interaction. For that to happen, floors or wings are sometimes divided so that it simply feels smaller and bonds people together like a neighborhood. Neighborhoods experience some autonomy through decentralized food prep, dining, and activities. Daily decisions are made by the neighborhood's elders and its staff team. Permanently assigning staff to the neighborhoods facilitates individualized care, a comfort to the residents.
We started and divided our floors into neighborhoods, and so even though they don't have the physical structure that says this is a small neighborhood, they have begun to meet in that respect, and our staff is dedicated to working in certain areas.
And that's a very important part, so there can be real relationships that grow and develop, and they begin to plan things together, social activities, and after a while even their work together. Residents and staff both involved in that.
Some facilities completely renovate existing structures or start from scratch with new construction to create distinct households for 10 to 16 residents. Designed to maximize choice, independence, and privacy, households offer home-sized kitchens, dining areas, and living rooms where elders may gather with family and friends. Some resident rooms have a kitchenette with a refrigerator and microwave. Breakfasts are cooked to order whenever residents choose to rise. Some households have separate entrances with their own mailbox and doorbell, which visitors must ring and then wait for an invitation to enter.
It'll be a much smaller area for each household. I I anticipate we'll probably do a lot of gathering in the kitchen, just like you do in your own home. When you have people that come to visit, where do you usually end up? Everybody ends up around the kitchen table, talking and having coffee and cookies or whatever you have.
The kitchen's open 24/7, and it's stocked with favorite foods that people like to eat. We do a lot of cereal, we do a lot of milk toast, just things that chicken noodle soup, the comfort foods, the familiar foods. And our people actually eat 24 hours a day when they're up and when they want to.
While this phenomenon is showing up in communities across the United States, other countries are embracing culture change as well. For example, the household model is making its mark in Australia, where elders are enjoying all the benefits of person-centered care.
With the household model, I suppose what is so important is it's not just the physical design. It's not just permanently assigned staffing teams. It's the whole philosophy that's incorporated into that. And that is empowering and trusting residents and staff to collectively make decisions on daily life. And in a lot of big organisations, they like everything to be controlled and everything's routine-based and there's lists and tasks. Whereas in the household model, we get rid of all of that and start to go with natural daily life. So the philosophy is the big part of the household model, and that's what I think we've really managed to achieve in what we've learnt from the United States.
It's the way you set the home up, so you don't have the big day room that was prevalent in a lot of the older homes. We have smaller lounges and dining areas where people feel very much part of their own household or community, where families can feel comfortable to come into.
The third component of culture change, personal transformation, helps individuals grow and adapt to the new organization.
First off, you have to respect other people. You have to be able to see how they look at it. And you need to understand that they've been trained and educated to do things certain ways, that to take responsibility for the residents and all. And residents need to be aware of that so that you're not in contention with each other, but you're trying to work out something that will be satisfactory for each person. And it takes nerve and determination.
How does culture change get started in your nursing home? With an understanding of basic concepts, you begin to talk and create a vision.
And the vision can be a very simple vision. It could be something as clear and simple as creating home. When you start that process, then people get very excited because they can all identify with it. And we've had many homes in our lives, but we can adapt one home to the next. And so people can somehow, even though they can't put their words on their mind on the words specifically, initially, they can all identify with what is home. Begin with that vision and involve everybody, and you'll see that people are able to move as an organization toward a different kind of culture.
To be successful, there must be high involvement in any culture change journey. Deep culture change takes years. Ongoing engagement of all stakeholders and the marking of milestones help carry the process forward.
Really, every stakeholder group, the board of directors, the community, whether through focus groups or fundraising or whatever, our employees, the residents, everybody got involved in this and helped shape it in one form or another, directly or indirectly. Every person was involved, including the Department of Health and Environment, our regulators.
Well, I think some of the best things are when the governor of the state of Michigan has recognized us on, I think, 2 occasions as being one of the outstanding facilities in Michigan.
Once we saw what the concept was and how it would work and so forth, and it seemed like the way to go, the road to take, and so we were, as one, the 3 of us on the board were for it immediately.
Chances are you have been hearing the call for culture change now.
People who are looking to make this an investment, it would be a very good investment because we need this, and you got to think about it yourself. we're going to get old one day. You want to have somewhere nice to come to, too. You might not always be able to take care of yourself. And you want a nice home environment to do whatever you want to do. You don't want nobody to take your privilege away.
They can't say, we don't have the money to do it, because there are ways to do it. And if you have 100% occupancy, you're going to have the money to do it.
Chances are, you have a new vision in mind of what your nursing home could and should be.
You're trying to do what's best for everyone. So if we can make these people happy and comfortable and make their life enjoyable, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Make some changes.